and then we'll just go. Hi. All right, we are live. Here we go. Oh, okay, fine. Sorry. There we go. Good morning, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in to our Tuesday edition of, this is episode, gosh, keep me on track. We're at 8, right? Episode 7. No, 7. Oh, I did it again. God, I cannot keep it straight. We're at episode 7 at
so I am the number person, you know.
I know, that's so true. That's such a good point. At home with Tanya and Jolene. My name is Tanya Blosser. I am a local area real estate agent here in Northern Virginia with Coldwell Banker. I'm also a mom and a husband, and we are in week 7 of quarantine.
Yes. Yeah.
You're a mom and a husband.
I mean, I'm a mom and I have a husband. Thank you. Week 7 of quarantine. That's what happens. Oh boy.
You're a mom.
I have a husband
and a wife.
Thank you very much. Anyway, my beautiful co-host is so much better prepared than I am this morning. So Jolie, take it away.
We'll see. I was up with a puppy last night. So
that's right.
Yeah. So I am Jolene Moore. I'm with Main Street Home Loans. So we're a local lender here that helps people be with purchasing and refinancing of residential homes. So we're very excited to have Judy here today. And like Tanya said, this is our 7th episode, so it's been really fun. And so we are creating a YouTube channel, so we'll talk about that a little bit later as well. And we're actually streaming there as well, so very exciting today.
We are so technical. It's so cool.
Yes.
So today we have Judy Davis with us. Judy is the operations manager with a really important nonprofit that's doing so much good work in the Alexandria, Kingstown, Franconia area. The foundation is called Koinonia Foundation, and they support, I had such a great conversation with you, Judy, last week. They support so many people with food bank and clothing needs and some financial assistance. And I'm sure there's a host of other things that you do. So I'm going to let you talk about, thank you so much for joining us today. And I'm going to let you talk about all the good work you guys do.
It's a pleasure to be here. It's exciting to, be able to get a chance to get the word out as to how, well, number one, how people can get help. And number two, the help that we need, because of course, the more help we get from everyone in the community, the more we can reach out to the people who are in need right now. And I gotta say, it grows every day. Every day there are more people. The more time goes on, the more people who have run out of their savings, they've lost their job, they were on temporary work, and they're just not making enough to get by. So we're just trying to do what we can to, give people food who need food. Clothing gets a little interesting for us. So we call it our little fashion show because we have to take it outside with our social distancing and our baskets and hold up so it's really an interesting thing, holding up the clothing and saying, do you want this? Do you like this? I'm trying to get a picture, but so far I can't get them to pose for me.
So Judy, what is your role at the foundation?
I'm the operations manager today.
Okay.
My role varies, but mostly
you wear a lot of hats.
I do. Yeah. I do the marketing and promotions, but mostly right now I'm the operations manager. We're short staffed.
Okay.
We have one of our main staff members is at home. She's high risk. And so we're trying to do everything we can to support her at home. So it gets a little interesting here while we try to make up the difference between the people who would normally be here.
So Tanya mentioned that your location is in Alexandria. So how does it work? How are people able to, I guess, one, let's talk about how they can get the help from you guys. And then we can talk about how others can help you. As well.
If somebody needs help, the main criteria is that they live in our service area. Fairfax County has divided all the agencies up into different service areas. We handle mostly Franconia, Kingstown, some other zip codes in Springfield, and some of the other zip codes in Alexandria. We're kind of bordered by 395, 95, and Telegraph Road, if that tells you anything.
Yeah.
So anybody who's in that area, they call in. we give them food. Right now, we're just trying to give out as much as we can. And if they need sustained, if we have to continue to give them to them in a couple of months, then, we'll do a little bit more paperwork with them. But right now, we're just trying to give out food to people who call, who are in our service area.
So basically, if they need help, they just call you, and then you set up a time for them to come to the foundation to get the food? Okay.
Yeah, we operate a little differently, I think, than some of the other food pantries. A lot of them will just put together bags and hand them out. We try to give the clients a little bit of control in this situation where they have very little control over anything that's happening. We think it's important to give them some control. So we will give them a list of foods that we normally have in our pantry, and it's really extensive at this point. And we will let them choose, what they need, because there are dietary restrictions. There are things that their kids like that, and there are other things they don't like. So we try to give them as much choice as possible.
That's
So,
awesome.
And Judy, we were talking, you guys are an all volunteer staff, right?
we are all volunteers, except we have 2 paid staff members. Well, we have 1 paid staff member. Just at the outset of the pandemic, and it's just, I laugh because, we're faith-based. So, if I say things that are Christian-based, I hope it's not offensive. But for me,
totally fine.
It's God coming through. He just comes through. So just as this pandemic's coming on and we're putting all these precautions into place, our admin, her last day happened. So we had no admin. Our client services coordinator went home with pneumonia. And so I was left in the office going, I have to figure out how I'm doing this.
Oh my goodness.
But my job my hours were cut for my job, which was a godsend, because it made me be able to be in the office every day. So, it's just worked out. It's been amazing how it's worked out.
So you're a volunteer then for the foundation?
I am.
Oh my gosh. Wow. I didn't realize that. So you're an operations manager who's a volunteer. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I know that we were talking before as well that a lot of your donations had been coming from local area churches. That's where you had found a lot of your support. And obviously with congregations not coming together personally, you guys have been affected with that. And so again, the outreach for donations has been even more critical, right?
Yeah. I have to say that the churches in our area have been putting out the word to their people, just saying, hey, we're not collecting here at the church anymore. However, you can still donate to Koinonia. And, they really are the best. But just by the nature of things, we just haven't gotten the donations we've needed. We've been shopping. I shop every day. I go at 8 a.m. in the morning and I go at 5 o'clock at night, and I bring in food. And so, more donations means the less I have to shop, because shopping, not my thing.
Oh gosh, yeah. Especially nowadays with, it really is. I know just from a personal perspective, every time I need to go to the grocery store, it's like a chore, it seems like, even more so than it was before. So I can understand.
It's interesting when you're shopping for a food pantry, because when you put a dozen bottles of laundry detergent in your basket, people kind of, they look at you. So we've learned to go to the managers and say things like, we're shopping for a food pantry. Is it okay if we take more? And they're usually really great about it. They really are. But people are just like, why do you need so much stuff? I'm buying for a food pantry. And then they go, okay.
I was just going to ask that. I know the grocery stores have limitations on a number of things. So I'm sure, thank goodness they're working with you.
They did. There was one where they were saying 2 dozen eggs. And I said, can I buy a dozen eggs? I was going to buy 24, but that seemed over the top. So, so we go from store to store, when we say, can I get a dozen packages of eggs, please? I really am buying. I can show you my card.
Oh my gosh! Wow. Yeah.
But it really is so far.
How long have you been working with the foundation then?
For 4 years right now.
Okay.
And and it's because it's a passion of mine, because I think that people don't realize. It's really easy to identify with the fact that there are poor people in poor countries all over the world, but you often don't think about the poor kids in your own neighborhood. And we have poor, even in this county, which is so wealthy. I was talking to Tanya and I was telling her that, there's a 30% of the kids in the school system are on free and reduced lunch programs. They are food insecure. And that to me is a crazy statistic.
Yes,
And
in Fairfax County, that is
I didn't
wild.
realize it was that much either. 30%. Wow.
Yeah. And and it just, I'm like, part of my upbringing is, you reach out to the people in your area, reach out where you are and do what you can to help there, and then reach out further. I mean, I'm all for helping, people who are in the poorer countries, but I also see that there's a huge need right here where we are. And that's why I'm here. I'm a little passionate about it. So
That's
apologize.
awesome.
Yeah.
Well, that's that. I mean, we need, it's like, that's like you said, kind of the Christian base, but that's, what we need for sure. That's incredible.
I was, oh, go ahead,
ahead.
Judy. I'm sorry.
I was going to say one of the, shoot, now I forgot.
That's okay.
When we were founded, it was because the churches came together. They wanted a better way to distribute food. And they said, we're all collecting food and we just don't have a good way to get the food out to people. And so that's part of the reason you were a faith-based organization, because the churches are who created us. And we still try to maintain that ideal, that core values.
And how long ago was it created?
We have been around a long time. 54 years.
54. Wow.
1966.
Is it one denomination of church, or was it a combination of churches that came together?
All the churches up and down Franconia Road.
That's awesome.
There's more than 30 churches that support us one way or the other. And so it is amazing.
Is that your main source then for donations? Is that financially and food, or do they primarily do food?
It depends on the church. I mean, we get a lot of financial support from some churches. They help as they can. Okay. I mean, you know that congregations, they've gotten smaller and smaller in this area. And, a lot of the churches are struggling. So, but everyone, they have such a heart for the community. I mean, I can't even say strongly enough just how much they support us with in any way they can. I'm always receiving emails. What do you need today? What kind of help? What are you short? What do you need volunteers? Do you need food? And a lot of them will have a Sunday where they just collect food for us, and we'll get, 500 pounds of food one week,
Wow.
So, I mean, they really do support us a lot, but not being there, that has really reduced our donations quite a bit. So we've been just trying to get the word out to as many people. I'm so grateful to be on this show so that possibly more people can see about
the awareness
and because it is hard to get out there and be aware when you're just trying to deal with the client's needs all morning, all day.
And your clients, are they, I know you said right now, just anyone that calls, in a normal situation, is it families more, or is it individuals, or what do you, who are you guys kind of primarily supporting?
Mostly families. I mean, there are a lot of singles, and there's a lot of older citizens, that live in the assisted living that are on a fixed income. So we do a lot of seniors. We deal with a lot of seniors, but we also it runs the gamut, really. People who are self-employed, who are, not getting work, people who are day laborers. It's such a wide variety. I mean, our tagline is, we all need a helping hand sometimes. And that's because you just don't know. I mean, so many of us are one paycheck away from needing some sort of assistance. And we have so many people who are self-employed who, like we had some guy he was a roofer and he fell off his roof, broke his leg. Mm-hmm. Healthcare, got taken care of, but he couldn't earn a living for 6 months.
Right.
So we were able to help him for about 6 months. And then he got back on his feet and he started earning. And then he said, you know what? You helped me for 6 months. What can I do to help you?
Yeah. And paying it forward.
We hear that story over and over and over, and you just have to be able to help somebody where they're at, our base, meet their basic need, and then try and help them get back on their feet. That's what we do.
Now, do you like when you're talking about, particularly that individual about help, and we mentioned food, do you provide any other kind of assistance? Like I know you said clothing. Do you do any kind of financial assistance for people as well?
We can help some. We are
Okay.
limited in how much we can help because, I mean, but that's another one of those things that's a little bit off the charts right now.
Right.
Everybody needs food. Everybody needs financial assistance because they can't pay their rent. They can't pay their mortgage. They can't pay their utilities. And, even now in this situation, with all the, they won't disconnect your utilities, but at the end of the day, you're still going to have to pay them.
Pay them.
So we've been trying to help people keep up with their payments so that they aren't overwhelmed when this is done.
Yeah.
Right.
So that's what we're finding we're doing. We're paying a lot of utilities and a lot of rents that aren't necessarily overdue, but they will be overdue by the time, they can afford to pay them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Judy, tell us what are the biggest needs that you guys need for donations right now? I mean, financial, certainly, and everybody that's watching this who has the ability to donate, please go to their Facebook page, the Koinonia Foundation Facebook page, and financial. They would love to take financial donations there. But aside from that, I know we talked last week about a bunch of stuff. How else can we help you?
Well, I mean, we always need food donations. I mean, the list. I was talking with my food pantry manager the other day, and the list has gotten long, and she goes, pretty soon, we're just going to put on the list everything. We'll just make it really short. We'll just say we need everything because it just gets longer and longer.
Yeah.
And I mean, all the basics, cereal, and some things you don't think of as basics mainly, but people use a lot of pancake mix, cereal, coffee, flour, sugar, oil. People need cleaning supplies. They need personal hygiene products. Those things are expensive.
Yes, they are.
Yes.
So, and we've recently received help from a couple of organizations that help get donations of those sorts of things. So that has just made that's just lifted a load because that's stuff that you can't do without.
Right. Mm-hmm. And where you guys are physically located, off of Franconia Road, is that right?
It's right on the corner of Beulah and Franconia. We're actually in a small building behind the Franconia United Methodist Church. They allow us to rent the space behind their building.
Okay. And are you accepting donations there?
We are. You can, if you come onto the property, there's a small building which is behind the church, and that would be us. So it's a very small space.
Gotcha.
I was telling you how creative our volunteers are about storing things. Jolene, I was telling Tanya that I had to do a physical inventory of all our stuff, and the food pantry manager goes, "Oh, did you check in the furnace room? Did you check up on those top shelves? Did you check in the closet?" And I'm sitting there going, "No, I did not think to look there. Thank you so much." So we have a very small space, but we are creative about how it gets stored. So it really works out well. We would love to have a larger space at some point, but of course, right now we're just focusing on, helping the clients as much as we can.
And do you take the donations during certain times or just whenever you guys are open? Like, how does that work for the food donation?
Well, normally it's better for us if you can bring them while we're open, but we have limited hours. It's normally 9 to 12:30 every day, except Thursday we're open until 4. But so we have put a bin out back. So if you can come during those hours and drop stuff off, it's great. But there's also a bin that you can put stuff in. And that's there also just for people who don't want to knock on the door if they're more comfortable trying to, sorry, that didn't even make any sense. If they're more comfortable just putting it in a bin,
then yes.
And are you open on the weekends?
No, there's one Saturday a month that we're open.
Okay.
It's hard to get volunteers on Saturdays. I'm not sure why, but I guess they just want their weekends. I don't know.
They want their weekends. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. So interesting. I meant to ask you in the beginning and talk about the name Koinonia Foundation. It has a Greek origin, right? Tell us a little bit
Right.
about that.
As opposed to Hawaiian, yes.
Right. We were talking about, yes, for the Hawaiian.
I clearly don't know my
I
Greek.
do like that idea, though. Yeah, no, it's a Greek name. And, it's kind of funny for me because a lot of people will say, oh, that's such a hard name. Why don't you change the name? And the reason we don't is because it means a community of sharing. And that is exactly what we do. I mean, I said, you know what? Number one, koinonia is such a conversation piece anyway. It's always interesting to me. I mean, I'm a word geek. I'm a word geek, so I like to know the meanings of things. And when I found out that it meant a community of sharing, it was like, oh, we can't change this name. That's who we are. It is literally who we are. So
Yeah.
I know I can't bring myself to change it. And I do put it out there. It's like, well, if you guys can come up with a better name, let me know. It's not that it's not that we don't consider it. However, it's just who we are, and it's what we do. So
now you mentioned a minute ago that you said some of your the people that are coming for assistance are some of the elderly, older citizens. How are they getting their food now? Are they coming to the pantry? Are they able to? Because I know that of course that's the population that's being the most concerned. So how's that working?
We are actually making more and more deliveries all the time because it's hard for them to get out.
Yeah.
I mean, of course, if some can come here, some of them have transportation, or they have their kids who can come, or they have aides who can come. But we do more and more deliveries to the low income assisted living buildings.
Wow.
Yeah, but we don't get to go inside. Everybody has their little methods. They send their aide downstairs. They don't let us inside the building, and we're just as glad because
I know
everyone has to stay safe.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Oh my goodness, Judy, thank you so much for joining us. I mean, you guys are doing such great work, and I dare say that this might just be the beginning of all of the great work that you guys are doing, because I don't know that it's, at least what we're all hearing is that it's going to be maybe this way for a couple months or even longer. So
yeah, it's going to be a while.
Yeah. So
we're kind of settling in for the long haul here.
Yeah.
So I guess the biggest help for you is the food donations, because like you said, the churches aren't meeting, so you're not seeing that as much. And then, like Tanya mentioned, going to your Facebook page, which we'll put a link, when we post this, so that they can go to your Facebook page and donate as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
And what about volunteers? Are you guys kind of sticking with the people that you already have, just because I'm sure there's not people wanting to get involved? Yeah.
Well, we've had people who want to volunteer, but it's such a small space. We can't do the social distancing.
Right.
Yeah.
And I got to tell you, we've got some of the best volunteers. They have really stepped up. And, oh my gosh.
Yeah, you included.
Yes, exactly.
I just feel like, if you have time and you have the ability, how can you not give back? I mean, especially when you see something where there's such a huge amount of need. I don't see how you can't give back. I mean, you have to do what you can.
Yeah. Right.
Well, and especially because you never know when you're going to need it yourself. I mean, that's kind of the thing.
Right.
I grew up honestly, I grew up poor. I mean, I had for lunch every day, I had tomato soup. I can't face tomato soup to this day because of that. So I can kind of relate to a lot of these families. It's like, you know what? I am done with tomato soup. But right now I can help somebody else not have to eat tomato soup every day. This is good.
That is awesome.
Gosh, you have such a great attitude about it too. Oh my, wow. Amazing. Well, we're going to do what we can to try to promote the Koinonia Foundation through this live. And then we also try to push out to as many people as we can reach on Facebook and other social media platforms so that you guys can continue to do really the great work that you are to support the community. I know the area that you're in. I mean, I've worked there. It's part of my kind of, areas of familiarity, if you will. And I know that there's a lot of families there that need this assistance. So thank you so much.
Oh, it was my pleasure.
Yes,
yeah.
thank you so much. It was my pleasure to get to know more about you and as well as the foundation. So thank you so much. And I do hope, we'll be boosting this. We've been doing that the past few episodes. So hopefully we can get the word out even more. So that I hope that, there's some people that will be watching this that will be inclined to help and give back, like you're mentioning. There is a lot of fortunate people in our area as well.
For sure.
We need those to give back in these times to make sure that everyone else is taken care of as well.
Yeah, and people really have been amazing. I mean, they really have. We've had so many calls.
That's awesome.
It's amazing.
I feel like I have seen that myself. I mean, just in, my little bubble, it's like, I do feel like when this started, it brought out something in people that we don't always see. And, on such a big level, in the sense that it was just about what can we do to help others and help take care of this, and I don't know. I feel like it's people who rose to the occasion in a good way for the most part.
They really have. Yeah. I mean, I've had any number of people say, we got our stimulus check and we just really don't need it. Can we, we're trying to figure out who to give it to. So they've divided it amongst various organizations. And it's like, that's so cool because
so cool.
Yeah.
That is awesome. Wow. Yeah.
Wow. Well, we wrap up. I mentioned, Judy, we wrap up each one of our conversations with like some favorite things that we're binging or trying to get through the time. I know it doesn't sound like you've got a lot of it. So a lot of extra time, like maybe me and Jolene do. But is there a favorite book or movie or series that you're binging when you get a little bit of free time to just kind of let it wash over you and relax a little bit?
Well, it might sound a little odd, but there's an online game that I play with I have 2 daughters, and we play, it's called Ticket to Ride. And so whenever we can, we play that online.
I've never heard of it.
I love that game. Conversation, so I'm going to keep it brief. But my family and we love Ticket to Ride, the board game. I mean, it is a holiday favorite, right? And I just heard that it's online, so I'm going to have to start doing that. That's amazing, and that's not odd because I love that game.
I know, it's so much fun. I mean, we've expanded to other continents now, so
I'm going to have to check it out because I've not heard of it. All right.
It is a good strategy game for sure. I love it. And the reason I love it is because I typically win. So of course I'm going to really like something that I win all the time.
Well, I would like that too then. So I get it.
Well, see, no, I always epically lose. And that's always kind of fun too. So there you go.
And then the other one, so you actually answered one of the other questions that we have, which was like kind of what's a favorite binging hobby or pastime that you're doing. So that kind of satisfies that question as well. Do you have a favorite food that you're just wanting a lot of now, like a comfort food? Doesn't have to be a sweet, but something that you're binging food wise?
Oh, I'm sure there is. I like mashed potatoes.
Mashed potatoes, not tomato soup.
No. Well, my husband is, he's one of these guys. He's a great guy. I have to admit it. He's a great guy because all I have to do is say, "Oh, I'd really like to have a Lindt chocolate bunny." And he will go out and I will have a Lindt chocolate bunny.
That's
so
sweet.
It's a dangerous thing.
It is.
Yes.
It's kind of the same way. And I'm like, just because I said it doesn't mean I really need it.
Right.
Yeah, right.
Right.
Thank you. Because I'm like, oh, thank you so much, honey. But I really go hide it someplace, please.
I know.
Thank you so much.
Right. Right. I just want a piece of it, just a little piece.
Literally, my husband, right before this, he bought donuts the other day and I haven't eaten it. And he was like, I bought you donuts because last time I went, you complained because I didn't buy you a donut. Now I buy you a donut. You didn't eat it. Like, yes, you're right.
Oh, well, thank you again. This was so much fun. I appreciate everything that you guys are doing
Yeah.
to support the community at large, and and letting me know about Ticket to Ride, because I'm definitely, that is on my to-do list for today too.
There you go. Happy to help.
Well, thank you so much again, and please, everyone that watches this, donate to the foundation. It's Koinonia. I don't know if I can say it.
Koinonia. Actually, I think there might be an N
Koinonia
missing. There might be
Foundation.
one
We'll
N
put the
missing in
link
the
here.
spelling. Yeah. Yeah.
And the spelling, okay, I will fix that.
Okay.
I'd hate for all the donations to go to the this place that might not have that other N in there.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. No, you're right. I
Maybe of
see that
Shannon.
now. No, I will make sure that we get that fixed. Thank you again so much, Judy.
All right.
We
Thank you.
appreciate everything.
Okay.
All
Have
All
a
right.
great
Bye,
day.
everybody.
day.
Bye-bye.
Bye.